Good day to you all. I'm excited to be bringing you these teachings on fasting. One of the questions that many people ask is, how long should I fast? How long you fast is really your choice. It's like people always ask the question, how long should I pray? Well, the thing is, are you praying because you have to, or are you praying because you love God? And so everything in life is predicated upon relationship, and fasting is exactly the same. But however, when we look at the scriptures, there are days that we find in the scriptures that are specifically mentioned. For instance, the 40-day supernatural fast that I spoke about in the previous video. Exodus chapter 34 verse 28, Deuteronomy from chapter 9 from verse 9, and 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 8, and of course Luke chapter 4, where the Lord Jesus Christ is led to the mountain to pray, and he is in the supernatural fast for 40 days and 40 nights. Then there is the 21-day period. That's the one we find in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, from verse 2, where Daniel speaks and says, I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And you and me went to school. We know 3 weeks means 21 days. Then there is the 7-day period. In the first book of Samuel, chapter 31, verse 18, Bible says, and they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fasted for 7 days. Then there is the unspecified days, just say several days. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 4. Then there is several times you will find where the 3-day fast is spoken about. Esther chapter 4, verse 16, where Esther speaks to his girls and she proclaims a 3-day fast. Then there is the 1 day, Luke chapter 18, verse 12. I fast twice in the week and I give tithes of all that I possess. I fast twice in the week. He didn't say I fast 2 days, but I fast twice in the week. And so now, just quickly, let's look what is the biblical attitude for fasting. And the biblical attitude, number one, there must be humility of the soul and the flesh. Psalms 35 verse 18, but as for me when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. And Psalm 69 verse 10, when I wept and chastened my soul. Fasting must be a time not of rejoicing. So you cannot go and be engaging in the standard day-to-day things you do when you are fasting. Secondly, the opposite of seeking one's pleasure is fasting. Isaiah 58 verse 3, wherefore have we fasted, they say, and you see not. Wherefore have we afflicted our soul? Behold, the Lord then answered. In verse 4, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. You shall not fast as you do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. Number 3, for the breaking of bondages, for the deliverance of captives. The attitude of fasting must be the recognition that there must be divine intervention. Isaiah 58 verse 6, he says, is this not the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness, undo the heavy burdens, let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke. Number 4, for the removal of any regular indulgences. Daniel chapter 6 verse 18, then the king went into his palace, past the night fasting, neither were instruments of music brought to him. So you remove from your life when you are fasting things of joy. So if you are a person who loves ice cream, you take it out. If you are a social media addict, you get off it. If you are a television addict, you get out of it. Number 5, for the desire of what is holy and sacred. Daniel 9:2, chapter 9, verse 2. Number 6, I believe, for a time of protracted crying unto the Lord for mercy. Joel chapter 1, verse 14 says, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. Number 7, for the consecration of whole body, soul, and spirit. You find that in Joel chapter 2, verse 12. Therefore also now, says the Lord, tend to me with all your heart, with your fasting, with weeping, and with mourning. Number 8, to remember again the word of the Lord and to practice its purity. Zechariah chapter 7, from verse 5 to verse 10. Number 9, to practice modesty and never to be seen to be fasting. We fast so that we humble ourselves. And lastly, number 10, so that we may humble ourselves, particularly in matters that require forgiveness. There is no settling of scores. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 5, defraud you not one another, except it be for consent for a time, that you may give yourself to fasting and prayer. I pray that this will help you as you learn to fast, as you move into this very awesome realm of the Spirit. There are things that cannot be taught, but you will discover them as you embark on prayer and fasting. God bless you. Love you all. Bye-bye.